Son, and the Holy Spirit. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking ruin of souls. Amen.
Amen.
Cool. Do you want to go ahead and start with your article? Pull her up on it.
Yeah.
We've been gone for a while. Sorry, guys. We had some personal things going on in our life. Jay Quellen will no longer be with us. She's going on her own route and producing her own things, and we wish her the best of luck in her endeavors and life. We had a great time with her, but Garrett and I are going to continue forth on our own and keep bringing you great content. So this
Boys
week
are
we're
going to
covering
continue.
yeah. This week we're covering Ye. I think it's kind of time to cover this shit show of a spectacle, don't you, Garrett?
Yeah. Man, he's done some crazy stuff the past few months, and it's it's kind of consistently weird. That's what I'll say. I don't know if it's consistent because it's not like he's not consistent like in anything, but he's definitely weird about it.
Yeah.
I wish I could be that weird and that whimsical, just so random. It's like, where'd he come up with this stuff?
Yeah, he must have Jewish writers.
Oh yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be irony if Kanye's ghostwriters were Jewish?
That's why he came up with all this stuff. He's like, my ghostwriters, man. Fucking guys.
That's horrible.
I don't think he has ghostwriters, to be honest, but I don't know.
I don't think he does either, to be honest. I think he
writes all his own shit.
I think so too.
Yeah,
anytime I use the word ghost, I think so too. He really is he really is a brilliant musician for all of the weirdness that he has. His music and his art is solid. My buddy at work the other day just played one of his old albums. It was actually my favorite. Through the Wire.
Oh yeah,
and it was like listening Through the Wire. It was like, wow, dang, And then of
his
course,
old stuff is way good. Much better than the new stuff, I think.
I haven't listened to any of the new stuff, and apparently he came out with like a new one called World War III or something. I haven't done that.
I haven't listened to that yet either. The last one I liked the latest one that I liked that he released was Yeezus, like in like 2013.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Everything since then has been kind of like not really my style.
Yeah. He tried to follow the new trend of rap also that kind of like came out, and I'm not a huge, nothing against them. They're still a skilled artist, but that kind of like overly relying on bass and less on lyrics and kind of just saying whatever you want or
the three-way rhyme, right? You rhyme it 3 times. That's how every rapper does it now.
Yeah, that seems right.
Like the cadence. It's like like 2 Chainz or any of these other guys, like any like mainstream rapper now is just they do the three cadence rap. That's all it is. Except for like Eminem and stuff. Eminem makes fun of it, but
Yeah. I was just trying to think of the line that he had. There's that one. He's like, I don't believe in your writers. I don't believe in ghosts or something.
Yeah.
I love that. And Eminem's another one that kind of fell off too. I appreciate his music still, but
I think his latest album was actually quite fire. So I'm not mad. The problem is he became woke. He just became really woke for some reason. Even though he was always kind of woke. Like in 2004, he had that album about like Bush and war and stuff. So he wasn't like he was always kind of woke. He just really became kind of like social justice warrior kind of woke, which is not the good kind.
No, and he said he would never do that. I think it was like in the Eminem show. He's like, if only I could use this power for good, I wouldn't, And then
and then he becomes exactly what he says he doesn't want to be, which is like, why, man?
Yeah,
you're such a good rapper too.
Why?
Just stick to rap, man.
He didn't need to cater to like political audience. He could just write bangers and people would buy it. Like they might be mad at him.
It's better if it's disgusting, honestly. Like the more disgusting it is, the more I'm like, yes, I want to listen to this.
Right?
Because he's saying what we're all thinking anyway, Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's a not zero chance you thought some bad thoughts at some point in your life.
Definitely a not zero chance.
Yeah.
So you want to go ahead and hop in and start with your article?
Yeah, I'll start with the website it's on, right? It's called the Jerusalem Post. So you already know it's good. And then it's called Kanye West's anti-Semitism is the only path to freedom.
Oh,
crazy!
Oh boy,
crazy hypothesis there, but all right.
In the Jerusalem Post.
Yep.
Okay, I'm excited.
By Michael Starr, March 3rd, 2025. Every gangster
Take it
rapper.
Away, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Yeah. Every gangster rapper was under the thumb of Jews except for West. The artist continued, and that he was braver than them, had a vision, and was the king. Rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, attacked Jews for supposedly controlling banks, the media, and minds in his latest social media rant on Monday. In a series of disjointed Twitter posts featuring inconsistent capitalization and punctuation and alternative grammar, West asserted that Jews owned all of the world's banks. Quotes, Jews act like they're sick, oppressed like black people, but they run shit like white people, said West. Quote, they run the black banks, they control our money, they control our media, they control our minds. The Jews are legitimizers of the acting world, the music world, the art world. West charged that music by black artists was responsible for jailing and killing people, and the music was profited upon by Jews. Whites and Jews were upset about the West's use of the swastika. He asserted but ignored this actual modern-day black genocide that the Jews profit from. Every gangster rapper was under the thumb of Jews except for West, the artist continued, and that he was braver than them, had a vision, and was the king. West asserted that he didn't hate Jewish people, but was the only person in a position to challenge Jewish people, in quotes, because no one else was willing to stand against the mob. The artist appeared incensed by the removal of an post proclaiming that the Jews and French owned all the banks, as well as statements against anti-Semitism made at the Oscars on Sunday. Are the Jews coming to physically harm me, or are they just going to freeze my accounts again? Demanded West. I'm telling all 16 million of y'all, and especially all you bitch-ass actors from the Oscars, come and get me. Wow, I like that. Throwing down the gauntlet. West claims threatened by the Jews. West said that he was fed up and mad at Jews, but he was willing to have a conversation with Jewish people. But they attempted to proctor and threaten him. He dismissed calls for him to apologize and demanded an apology for black people. Jews are responsible in the eyes of West for the phenomenon of obese runway models, and that his dislike of this was echoed by the Italians and French. Anti-Semitism is the only path to freedom, said West. The concept of anti-Semitism was created as a protection wall for Jews to continue sharp business practices. The flurry of posts was deleted by Monday evening. West has engaged in several social media rants attacking Jews, the first occurring in 2022. And that's the end. Wow.
What an interesting article.
Yeah.
Are they promoting him?
It sounds like it, kind of. It's really weird because it's like they're being like, oh yeah, he said this, but they're not saying anything against him.
Yeah, there was not one rebuttal or disclaimer or.
They're just reporting straight facts, right? There was no oh, he's bad, he's against Jews or anything like that. I was like, no, this guy's just straight spitting facts.
Which is so weird because they normally you would assume that media owned by that company would spin it in some sort of way.
Yeah, maybe they just thought it was so bad it would just stand on its own. They could just be like, yeah, but this is gonna obviously be outrage. No one's gonna believe this. No one's gonna think this shit is okay. So clearly, we don't need to editorialize it or anything.
Right. That makes sense. I just can't help but it feels like an ad. It's check out this account.
Yeah,
go listen to him.
Kinda. It's crazy. And I mean, in a way, it kind of summarizes all Kanye said throughout the few years here, which is kind of cool. I like that part of it. Like, kind of get a good grasp of like what the overall picture he's saying. He's saying that the Jewish people aren't bad, but there is a contingent of them that are not good either. I think he's talking about like Zionists though, right? Like it's not talking about like regular Jewish people. Like they're fine. Like they don't have any. He doesn't have any beef with them.
Correct. I like to refer to it as, you know, my grandma Flory, you know, she's not out there waging genocide or, you know, overtaking bank accounts, you know, but
freezing bank accounts.
There is a group of people out there though that operate under a banner of Zionism. I mean, and this bothers a lot of people, but having been raised partially Jewish, you know, Zionism is not Judaism. You know, people are like, of course Zionism is Judaism. And it's like, just because the word Zion is in like the Bible and stuff does not mean that an organization called Zionism is Judaic. You know, there's Christian Zionists, there's atheist Zionists, like...
Yeah, because the definition of Zionist is just someone that advocates for an independent Jewish state. So, it's literally not even like a religion. It's just, it's like a, what's it called? Like an ethno state, basically. Right?
Okay.
Because Jew is technically a ethnicity, I think, so...
Yeah.
I believe.
It's like technically a religion, an ethnicity, and a race or something.
Yeah, it's a race too. Yeah, even though it's like basically white, I guess. I don't really know. But anyone can be. The thing is, anyone can be Jewish though, so it technically is a race, but.
So interesting, and like then it makes me kind of wonder if you're born in Israel, does that make you Jewish, or you know, like
because the thing is, I don't know, because Israel wasn't the original like state of Jews. I mean, I guess it was kind of technically, but I mean it's
sort of.
But it wasn't like officially their home for until 1949 or something, whenever they decided that after World War II.
Yeah, it's like 47, 48, or 49, I think.
I believe it's bad brain, don't remember anything.
Too many facts.
Yeah. I guess it just wasn't that useful. I'll look it up. 1948 they had the Declaration of Independence, so yeah.
Which, you know, I agree that all people need a place to go in the world, right? Like, you should have some sort of place to be safe and home. And I think that we're kind of noticing that a lot in the world as well. Like, those, technically, they were Jewish immigrants, right? They were fleeing a tyrant who was murdering them, and they needed a safe haven to go to. And I think we're running into a lot of similar issues today. Obviously, we don't have any more landmass to, like, give them...
Yeah, we don't have any more land to divvy up, which... How they divvied it up is kind of
Yeah. You know, I think it's very interesting how people get upset at, you know, I think that there's a lot of things that are going on with the Israeli government that are unacceptable. I think that it's fully okay to say that. Like, just because my great grandpa died, my grandfather's entire family except for him died in the camps, right? Like, they all died in Poland. They're all gone, you know? And like, the way that he always kind of taught me, he was really cool, you know, it's like, never use your suffering to inflict pain on other people. You know, don't use that as a leverage point. You know, obviously I use it as a leverage point for humor.
Well, humor is different than, you know, actually like doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a joke. It's not real. You're not really like being like, oh, you know, it's all your fault that because I'm Jewish and I decided to suffer and whatever. But like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's different. If you're just making a joke, that's where people don't understand. There's a line there.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I think that we should be able to criticize anybody, right? Like, people are dying out there, and they're dying at the hands of a superior force. You know, I don't think that Israel should be attacked either, you know, because that's instantly going to be what people say. Oh, you want Israel to be attacked then? Like,
nah, you're a Jew. Why would you want your homeland to be attacked, bro?
Yeah.
Why would you advocate for that? That's weird.
Yeah. And people are just so funny about it, but there are a lot of things about what Kanye is doing that I appreciate. He's trying to bring light to a tyrannical force. Is he using like bodacious language? Yeah, sure, but also he's going for the shock value. He wants to catch people, like catch your attention. He wants to make sure you're not just going to scroll past, like, oh, I just can't deny it.
Yeah.
And sure, he's saying some pretty crazy things, but there's also a little bit of truth in what he says.
There is some truth in the banking thing. He's not wrong about that.
Exactly.
And that can be traced back in time to, like, I don't know, the 1700s.
Maybe even earlier?
Back. Maybe further back, yeah. Definitely.
Because I know that
in American history, it's always been the case that the Jews have controlled all the banks, and for the most part.
Yeah. It's why I hate Alexander Hamilton, because he opened the door for the Rothschild banking family.
Yeah, he consolidated their power, right? Like, that's what because he literally created like the Bank of America, and then he created like the credit system, the stock market. Yeah, he created all that shit.
He opened the door for Nathan Rothschild to come in, which is exactly what some of the other ones like Jefferson and them were trying not to do. We were trying to be on our own monetary independent system, and yet here we are still wrapped in the Rothschild banking system. And Rothschild is a German Jewish name that means red shield. So like when he says Jews own the banks, Rothschild is a Jewish German name.
Yeah, and the Rothschilds were very rich too back in the day, and still are.
Yeah,
they've been around for a long time.
Their net worth doesn't reflect what I would expect world bankers to be, but I don't think that they claim the fact that they own world banks on their tax reports.
I mean, they can hide that shit. It's like it's like it's like Peter Thiel or something. It's like, it doesn't seem like he would be worth only 16 billion. Like, that seems a little bit low.
Exactly.
Kind of like that. It's like those offshore accounts. They're hiding all their money in assets or something, like something unrelated to them. They're just sticking their money in there and being like, all right, don't need this money for now. Just tuck it away.
Exactly. Like, if I remember, I think that the proclaimed, don't quote me on this, but I think that when I checked last, the proclaimed worth of like the Rothschild family was like $500 to $800 million or something. And it's like, wait,
no fucking way. You mean 500 to 800 billion dollars?
Yeah, exactly. You add another zero there or two, like.
Yeah. I mean, that would make them the richest family in the world, I think, by a long shot.
And I think they probably have to be, right? Because you have those giants like Larry Fink or the other people of Vanguard or BlackRock and stuff like that, but they all still use the base currency of money. Like, are you even, like, do you even have to have a value if you own the thing that everyone else uses as value?
Yeah.
I've always found that. Because, like, do rich people use money? Like, do you think that, like, the Rothschild person, whoever, like, goes out to a restaurant and like uses their credit card? Like, I doubt he even has a wallet, right? Like, he probably just walks in and there's some sort of like, his accountant is like, okay, just send the bill over or whatever, like, I doubt there's any.
Or maybe he just has like a black card, just like an unlimited black card. You can just, whatever. They have those apparently.
Yeah,
they're real.
Yeah, the
unlimited
no
black
credit
card, no limit.
Which is wild, right? Like, I'm just going to give you an unlimited amount of zeros to hang yourself with. And, debt isn't technically enforceable. I mean, I'm sure at that level it probably is enforceable, with like with a gun. But, like, what? I just run up this black credit card and just buy the world and then just default on my bills? Like, peace, suckers.
Just kill yourself? That'd be hilarious, actually. Just short the whole world. I'm going to short the world, funny. Just spend billions of dollars and just kill yourself and then be like, sucker.
Sucker, take your own death.
Just spend like $1 more than you're worth, and then they're just like, fuck.
No!
We'll never get that dollar.
It's a loss. Okay, so I'll probably go ahead and hop into my article now. Let me go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, I think we juiced that one pretty well.
I think we did too, and that was juice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, so
that wasn't even intentional, to be honest.
It was still great. Oh, so I pulled one up from the Jerusalem Post too. Oh, I pulled up the same one. Okay, well, I grabbed a couple because I was like, there's three of us, and I was like, at the time I was like, there's three of us, and we might. Oops, clicked the wrong one. I gotta grab the correct list here. Okay. I also have one from the Jerusalem Post, a different one, but this one is called 5 of Kanye West's anti-Semitic remarks explained. It was written February 11th, 2025. There was an update. Kanye West, also known as Ye, emerged in headlines in recent weeks. On February 7th, he unleashed a fresh wave of anti-Semitic and offensive slurs on his X account, reigniting the controversy over his history of hate speech. The disgraced rapper, who made headlines earlier in the week for a bizarre stunt at the Grammy Awards with his wife Bianca Censori, I'm gonna guess on that one, has repeatedly sparked outrage with anti-Semitic tirades across social media and in interviews. In his latest string of posts, Ye spewed a fresh wave of anti-Semitic and offensive rhetoric, declaring in all caps, "I'm a Nazi. Jewish people actually hate white people and use black people." And these are quotes. "And some of my best friends are Jewish, and I don't trust any of them." Sorry. Among other hateful remarks. His vile comments also targeted people with disabilities and other racial groups, further cementing his pattern of incendiary speech. I missed the speech. I missed the ones about disabilities, to be honest with you.
I don't think I saw that one either.
Meanwhile, Ye also aired a Super Bowl ad appearing in some markets, directing viewers to his online store, which was later found to be selling only a $20 t-shirt featuring a black swastika. By February 1st, the website had gone offline, displaying a message that read, "This store is unavailable." You know, and a side note, they've rug pulled people a couple of times by trying to sell like t-shirts or like jewelry of swastikas and stuff, and then it's like, and then they're like taken offline and have to send back everyone's money. And I think that's a little fucked, because like you should be able to buy whatever you want, you know, like and I'm sorry that it's Nazi gear, but if someone wants to wear it, like, then you know who they are, you know?
Yeah, at least they're telling you who they are. No secrets there. I wouldn't want to meet a secret Nazi. It's the worst. I want to know you're a Nazi, so I know what I'm dealing with at least. Like,
yeah, because I think that most people out there who are hopping on this bandwagon are not Nazis. You know, they're just tired of being treated unfairly by a tyrannical group of people. And the fact that everyone keeps like making it this bigger deal, and you know, everyone kind of associates themselves with being Nazis, I think that's probably a net negative, right? Like, I think that we should be able to point out the bad people and also separate the Jews from them, you know?
Yeah, the Zionists to the Jews, because they're not the same thing. We should call them the Zionists from now on, not Jews, because we're not really talking about Jewish people. Zionists could be anybody.
I think it's a good shift.
Yeah.
I'll continue with the article. Ye's continued anti-Semitic tirades have led to widespread condemnation, costing him lucrative business partnerships, including his multi-billion-dollar deal with Adidas, and isolating him from much of the music and entertainment industry. Despite facing backlash and financial fallout, he has doubled down on his rhetoric, using his platform to spread hate. Rapper Kanye West, now also known as Ye, has posted anti-Semitic tropes on his social media accounts, shared anti-Semitic conspiracy theories with Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Okay, he's not the Fox News host anymore. Let's be real here. And on social media, threatened violence against the Jews. West has also targeted Jewish people on podcasts and traveling with an entourage of known anti-Semites. Meanwhile, in an interview late last year on the InfoWars talk show hosted by provocateur Alex Jones, West, alongside white supremacist Nick Fuentes, said people should stop dissing the Nazis and exalted Adolf Hitler. Jones, a far-right conspiracy theorist who has been ordered to pay parents more than $1 billion for insisting the massacre of their children in one of America's deadliest school shootings was a hoax, pushed back on West's praise, but made references to the Jewish mafia. Every ethnicity has a mafia.
True.
Later, West posted to Twitter the image of a swastika fused with the Star of David. I missed that. The American Jewish Committee called, or the AJC, American Jewish Committee, called out the blatant Jew hatred on social media. Tragically, West's anti-Semitic rhetoric has had real-world repercussions, inspiring anti-Semitic behavior that has increasingly crept into mainstream American discourse from celebrities to politicians. While anti-Semitism comes from a variety of sources, including white supremacists, black supremacists, and religious extremists, the rapper's anti-Semitic slurs seem to run the gamut? G-A-M-U-T? Gamut? Maybe?
Yeah, gamut. That's right.
With a social media following of more than 31 million, his statements, that's a lot. His statements have become more acute, more delusional, and more dangerous. West has acknowledged he suffers from bipolar disorder, but mental illness is no excuse for anti-Semitism. But alcoholism is an excuse for rape. Got it. Okay.
All right,
anyway. Although some have tried, there is no rationale, no explaining away Kanye West rants on social media for anything else than what they are. Vicious anti-Semitic statements that pose a clear and present danger to every Jewish person, said American Jewish Committee CEO Ted Deutch. D-E-U-T-C-H. Deutch.
What a name. More Ted Douche.
Ted Douche. Douche.
Yeah.
Don't freeze my bank accounts. I'm just making fun. Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that name just sounded bad. Not my fault.
Yeah. Here are 5 of Kanye West's previous statements and how they tie into common anti-Semitic tropes and conspiracies. 1. I prefer my kids' new Hanukkah from Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. Isn't there some weirdness about Kwanzaa too? Like it's like not really technically a holiday or something?
I have no idea.
Okay. I don't know anything about it.
Me neither.
But I do remember saying it was started by a white person, and I have to do some research. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, during his interview with Fox News host Tucker Carlson, this must have been a while ago that they're talking about, Kanye West said he would prefer that his children learn about Hanukkah instead of Kwanzaa, because at least the Jewish holiday would teach them about financial engineering. Producers cut that statement from the 2-hour conversation that aired on Fox News October 6th and 7th. Oh, so they're bringing up the past here. The theme of greed is common in anti-Semitic rhetoric and fuels Jewish stereotypes such as being excessively materialistic and money-oriented, exploiting others for personal gain, being overly wealthy, and controlling the world's finances. Okay, so then the second one, they say that they have read more about this anti-Semitic trope in AJC's, American Jewish Committee's Translate Hate glossary of anti-Semitic terms. Wow, they have a glossary. Okay.
Holy crap.
Right? I mean, do black people have a glossary of names used against them? I
would hope
be
so.
Curious.
I mean, there's a lot of them for sure.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. So number 2. I just think that that's what they're about, is making money, West said in apparent reference to Jared Kushner and his Jewish family. Unlike West's Hanukkah remarks, Fox News did not edit out West's accusation that Jared Kushner, who is Jewish, negotiated the Abraham Accords simply to make money. Again, this statement is part of the anti-Semitic theme of greed, as explained above. The third one they bring up by West. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are. West perpetrated the myth that Planned Parenthood was part of a conspiracy to limit the growth of the black population by preventing the birth of black children. But instead of calling it the black population, he called it the Jew population. This echoed a long-standing anti-Semitic trope common among black supremacists that claim white Jews are not the real Jews. I mean, they're not. Instead, these black supremacists alleged without evidence that Jews are imposters who have stolen the identity and birthright of black people as the true chosen people of God. According to this conspiracy theory, the descendants of the 12 Hebrew tribes of Israel settled across Africa after the destruction of the Kingdom of Israel and eventually were sold into slavery. I mean, that's not wrong. Elements of black supremacy can be found within Louis Farrakhan's Nation of Islam and the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. The latter inspired a deadly anti-Semitic attack in 2019 at a kosher market in Jersey City, New Jersey. I don't remember that.
Me either.
Number 4, this ain't a game. I'm going to use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to... okay, I'm sorry. This is not an easy one. Okay, this ain't a game. I'm going to use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. I told you, this is war. Now go and get you some business. He needs to have someone edit his tweets for punctuation. That was hard to read.
He likes to use the grammar and punctuation as like a tactic, I guess. Remember in my article they said? I
think that makes sense. I mean,
yeah. It gets your attention. Makes it impossible to read as well.
Yeah. So when fellow rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs contacted Kanye West directly for unveiling a White Lives Matter shirt as part of his fashion line at Paris Fashion Week.
Now we got Diddy involved.
No. West posted a screenshot of their text exchange on Instagram and accused Diddy of being controlled by Jews. Whoa. Okay, that's big. Right. Because just recently, Kanye was wearing that shirt that said Diddy, and he posted that tweet on X where he was wearing a shirt called Diddy, and I was like, dude, that's too much. Like, I don't give a crap about you talking about bankers and all that stuff, but like, don't support Diddy. And that's what it kind of seemed like he was doing. But maybe he was, if he thinks that Diddy is being controlled by the Jews, maybe that's why he wore it. Mm-hmm. There's also probably something to be mentioned there at some point in time about the Mossad Epstein, Mossad Diddy connection, Mossad blackmail connection, but I'm not going to go there now because I don't have facts.
Yeah, me neither. I've heard about that, but I don't have any facts either.
I don't either. Okay, so to continue, anti-Semitic tropes that claim Jews control the banks, media, and governments are part of a long-standing conspiracy of secret Jewish power. These myths of control portray Jews as secret puppet masters ruling over others and manipulating the world's economies and governments, and even apparently Grammy award-winning rappers. Meta, the company that runs Instagram, removed the post, and as of the posting of this article, froze Kanye West's account indefinitely.
Ooh, Zuck strikes again.
Right? Being frozen out of Instagram pushed West to post on Twitter for the first time in nearly 2 years, but he didn't last long there either. On October 8th, West tweeted that he would be going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, a dark and possibly confused reference, I was just going to say, to the Defense Readiness Condition, which is DEFCON, not DEFCON, a U.S. military term for heightened readiness in the face of a threat. By the next morning, Twitter had removed the post and locked West's account for violating the social media platform's rules regarding hateful conduct. Social media companies know their algorithms promote engagement, said Holly Huffniel, AJC's U.S. Director for Combating Anti-Semitism, and hate, conspiracies, and lies foster the most engagement, which is why their hate speech policies are in place. I would like data on that claim. I think for some point in time, or for like our after hours, I think I want some data on that, because as far as I can tell, every conspiracy that I've ever posted gets censored, not fosters engagement.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite.
Those guidelines are imperative at a time when anti-Semitism in the U.S. and around the world continues to rise. More than half of all religious bias crimes in the U.S. are against Jews. Whoa, what? No. What? No.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, actually.
I don't know, but I would assume Christians have been targeted more, right? Like, maybe I'm wrong. Or even Muslims? Like,
yeah, maybe like in the early 2000s after 9/11, but I feel like maybe it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just by a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Like Jews just lead it by a little bit, and then Christians and then Muslims, maybe.
Well, I just have never heard of a religious biased crime against Jews. I mean, I have, but like, I hear of a lot of other crimes more. And that's probably, the channels that I'm hearing through. But anyway, furthermore, American Jewish Committee's 2021 State of Anti-Semitism in America report found that nearly a quarter of American Jews have been targeted personally, and nearly half knew someone who had been targeted by anti-Semitism. I mean, half of all of that reporting is probably my friends making fun of me. So
yeah, pretty much. Could be. I mean,
you can remove that. So hatred and bigotry must not be excused, Huffingale said. Huffnagel, actually, I think is.
That's not a real name. You can't tell me that's a real name.
It's Huffnagle. Huffnagel.
No, I refuse to believe that's his real name.
We must keep people accountable, especially those whose words impact millions of people. Using these platforms to share his plans to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people spreads anti-Semitic hate at an immeasurably amplified level. Okay, yeah, sorry, the ad got in the way. Okay, so bonus read, they say, why was Kanye West banned and then reinstated from Twitter X? A lot has happened since West's outbursts in October 2022. Elon Musk took over Twitter and restored West's account. On Thanksgiving, West used the account to announce his 2024 campaign for president after he and notorious white supremacist Nick Fuentes dined with former President Donald Trump. He and Fuentes then went on the conspiracy circuit, spewing their anti-Semitism on a number of talk shows, including InfoWars, hosted by far-right conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Every human being has value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler, he told Jones. Oh. He also denied the Holocaust. Wearing a black ski mask and armed with props, including a Bible, a butterfly net, and a bottle of Yoo-hoo chocolate beverage. I forgot about the props. West went on a series of rants. Using the net and Yoo-hoo bottle, he railed at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is a war criminal. We have to control the history. Yeah, we have to control the history books. We have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people. Well, that's dumb, West. You don't say that part. West said in a high-pitched voice, apparently mimicking. Oh, okay. I get it now. Mimicking Netanyahu and employing the tactic of targeting prominent Jewish figures to cast all blame on all Jewish people. I do find it interesting that they would know the difference between Zionists and Jewish people, and that they insist upon using the word Jewish, which means to me that they want to use this as like a propaganda, right? Like they want to be like, look, he's attacking Jews, when they could very easily be like, look, Netanyahu is an Israeli, he practices Judaism, but he's a Zionist, right? Like it would be so easy for them
they're trying to make it all in one so they can So
right,
if they attack
like
Zionists, then you're attacking all Jewish people, but that's not really the case because
right,
you could be a Zionist without being a Jewish person pretty easily.
Absolutely,
you could support it. I could support a free Jewish state. You know what I mean? Like I could be a Zionist if I wanted to be. I'm not, but
right. Yeah, I mean, people should have a place to live, but we shouldn't be taking it from other people, right? Like that's not the way we do it. After the show, he tweeted a swastika fused with the Star of David. This apparently crossed a line for Musk. This was back when Musk was still liberal, I guess, before he realized he could rule the world through Trump. West was banned from Twitter again in early December 2022. Yet, after being banned for over 8 months, Twitter, which is rebranded as X, they inexplicably reinstated West's account. The rapper, who also performed for the first time since his anti-Semitic outburst, has yet to post anything to his social media. This must be an older addition to it. Nearly a year after Kanye's anti-Semitic tirade, Adidas CEO Bjorn Gulden reignited controversy over West's remarks. Well, if they were done, then reigniting was dumb, which appeared to downplay the harm caused by West's anti-Semitic statements. Speaking to the podcast In Good Company, hosted by philanthropist Nikolai Tangent, you mean global thief then, that's what philanthropist means.
Yep.
Golden was asked about the sportswear company's partnership with West, branded as Yeezy, and how it came apart. He did some statements, which wasn't that good. Oh my God, this person is supposed to be making business decisions. Okay, here we go. He did some statements which wasn't that good and caused Addy to break the contract and withdraw the product. Golden said on the podcast, for being an international business conglomerate, you should learn English better.
Yeah, you should English better for sure.
For sure. Very unfortunate because I don't think he meant what he said, and I don't think he's a bad person. It just came across that way. Okay. Amid the fallout over West's statements last year, Adidas ended its partnership with West for his anti-Semitic remarks. Golden, who became CEO of the company a month after the scandal, called the breakup with West very sad and that the company lost business, which he said was very lucrative. Okay. Last year, after Adidas announced it would sever ties with Kanye, AJC American Jewish Committee Berlin director Dr. Remco Leemhuis, Leemhuis, What the hell is up with these names, dude?
German, dude. He's German.
Met with senior representatives to urge them to demonstrate their commitment to combating Jew hatred by adopting the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism. I'm not going to go into that one. I don't know what it is, but that's, they say it. Maybe some point in time we should. But AJC CEO Ted Douche spoke with Golden following his comments, reminding him that West's anti-Semitic tirade had real-world repercussions for Jewish communities. Yesterday, I spoke with Adidas CEO Bjorn Golden. While I don't believe Mr. Golden meant to cause harm with his comments, I reminded him that Ye's anti-Semitic tirade has real-world consequences and can neither be minimized nor dismissed for any reasons. AJC blah 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 then goes on to it just does the ... So I guess it wasn't that important what else he had to say there. And that pretty much ends the article. All that.
Yeah, interesting stuff there. Kind of a history of what's happened with Kanye and his banning and coming back and banning and coming back.
Yeah. You know, so far my favorite remark that he made, and because it's true, is, you know, when he said, "Are they going to freeze my bank accounts again or kill me?" You know, like
Yeah, that's the best one for sure.
I think because they already have, like, he got kicked off like Apple Pay. I think they stole or like froze a bunch of his money. He didn't have access. They canceled all his credit cards. Like they basically, and I don't know if that all got reinstated or what happened there, but I do know after that Alex Jones article, he was attacked, you know, like in a cancel culture sort of way, but like financially, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't
was
just
like canceled financial. It was like the Canadian trucker thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
You remember that when the truckers went up there and they were protesting, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna freeze your bank accounts," and then they started like freezing guys' bank accounts for no reason, just because they're protesting. Yeah. Like, same thing.
Yeah, which is just like way too much power, right? Like we shouldn't be able to cancel someone's ability to live and eat and the money that they've earned, because, like, let's be real, we're already slaving for wages, and then you're gonna just come along and steal the fruits of my labor. Like, it's
kind of
like you're already robbing.
And it's not even, it's like that's the different scenario because it's the government doing it, which doesn't make it better. But I mean, it's like no one should be able to do it though. Not the government, not Zionists, no one.
Yeah, especially at the whim of like words, right? Like, it's not like Kanye. I mean, the one that
Kanye's personally out there like executing Jews or something. Like, he's not even doing that. He's just talking.
Yeah. And I would like some data. I would like to see some sort of correlation. You know, they said that over half of the religious attacks in the U.S. are on Judaic people. And I personally might make up for, you know, a quarter of those, both in receiving and in sending out jokes, because I think it's funny. But
I don't think they're talking about religious jokes.
Yeah, but I would like to see some data. I would like to see some school shooter or something like, not school shooter, but, you know, some sort of mass shooter or something that had like ties, right? Like maybe they happen and I just haven't found them, but I think it would be really interesting to see, like, oh, this person went and tried to bomb a synagogue and all they had on their phone was Kanye West's tweets. or something like that. Like I would like to see something like that, because those are some pretty bold claims to say that half of the religious attacks in the U.S. are on Judaic people. Could be true, but then what are we determining as an attack, right? Like what is an attack? Does that count when you're in school and some 13-year-old calls you like the word that sounds like kite, and you get offended and turn it into your counselor, and he really was just saying that because you were being, you tripped him in the hallway and he saw it on Twitter? Is that an attack? Or
I think they mean like physical attacks.
Right.
I'm gonna look up a definition.
That's what I was,
because I don't know.
Yeah, and that one might be kind of hard to search because it didn't give me a link or anything either to that in the article. It didn't provide me the ability to. Would you like to know more?
I mean, I guess maybe the religious discrimination would be kind of an. I don't know if that's like an attack or not, though.
Yeah,
it is a crime though, under the First Amendment.
And I do think that
you're allowed to hold, you're allowed to be religious, obviously. So if you attack someone for being a religion, then that's not constitutional. You can't really
right,
do
you're
that.
Impeding. Yeah, you're denying their ability to freedom of religion.
Yeah.
Which I don't condone either, right? Like whatever, practice whatever you want. I don't care. Like, and I think that the most important thing that was brought up here is your wisdom of like, we need to start calling them Zionists versus Judaic or Jewish people. I think that's really important. And I also think it's funny when I get into arguments with Jewish people and I say Zionism isn't Judaism, and they get mad at me like, I'm an Israeli, I'm a Jew, and I'm like, I am too, and I have never worshipped Zionism.
I mean, yeah, you don't support the free Jewish state. Which again, we didn't even talk about the other side of that, which is when they made Israel, they displaced the Palestinian people. That's who got the boot.
Which are the older culture and older people of the landmass. I mean, technically you could say that most humans have migrated most places in the world, because we weren't all, humans didn't start everywhere on the world. So we're all
started mostly in that region in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, all those areas. And then we kind of just migrated out from there, Africa.
Yeah. And technically, like if you want to look at it biblically, Abraham was from Ur. He was born in Ur, which I think is modern day Iraq, which is where Ur. And he came down and interacted with the people of the land who already lived in that area that then, of course, became like Jerusalem, Judea, that whole thing. But he migrated to that area. He wasn't born there, obviously it didn't exist, right? It's not like Israel has existed. Jerusalem has existed.
I mean, that area has existed this whole time, but it wasn't named it wasn't named Israel the whole time. Like modern day, from 1948 till now, it's been Israel, but before that, it was just Palestine, I guess, or I don't even know what they called it.
It was Palestine for a while, but then Palestine has changed names, and I mean that whole area is very tumultuous. I think that at some point in time we were talking about something else.
It's like 2,000 years. They've been fighting over that one little piece of land there, that one little area. It's crazy, and this has only made it worse, by the way, not better. Yeah, not better. And taking someone's land is not okay. Like, I don't think that the Palestinians are blameless either. Like, I'm not. No, they both have blood on their hands for sure. But it's just gotten. You can't even tell whose fault it is anymore, because they both just keep attacking each other.
Yeah, it's like a nation state gang war, right? This is my block. This is my block. You killed my cousin. I killed your cousin. Back and forth.
And then it doesn't help by the fact that Iran is there, like, oh, we want to annihilate the whole thing. It's like,
you want to talk about the true anti-Semites? Iran.
Oh,
Iran is the true anti-Semites of the world.
Oh yeah, they're bad.
They hate them.
They're looking for any excuse to go to war with them, any excuse to drop a nuke on them. They're like, okay, just give us one chance and we'll take you out.
We'll do whatever we can. And, they raised the red flag of death just recently. I don't know if you've seen that footage, but
No.
it's in Tehran. And they basically, like the central mosque in Tehran, they raise like their religious flag, not the nation flag, but the religious flag. And you can hear all of the Muslim men chanting their war cry throughout the entire city of Tehran, which probably is, like, I would assume close to 1 million people.
Death to the whatever it is. I forget the name.
Yeah. And so what it is it's just a chant. So it's like wah or something like that, and you can just hear it resonate. And I got chills in my body right now thinking of it, because it's like one of those war cries. It's like one of those death whistles before war, meant to instill fear in your enemies. Yeah. And I think that's, like Israel really would do very well with taking a punch. If Israel swallowed a punch, if Israel ate one punch to the face and didn't retaliate, they would have the world's support, right? Like if Palestine or Iran or something initiated an attack like they did on October 7th or whatever, and Israel was like, no, we're not going to retaliate because we want to try to end this, the world would be like, yo, we can't say anything anymore, right? Like, yeah, they
didn't cross the line finally.
Yeah. They threw a rock at you and you didn't nuke, you didn't, what is that, like Stingray missile them to pieces, like they threw a rock at you and you got hit in the face, and okay, fine. Like how that for global relations, like, and I'm sorry that Jewish people would have to die for that, but if it meant stopping death down the line, wouldn't that be worth it?
Yeah, and also we can't ignore the fact that Iran is like it is because the U.S. made it like that. Like we kind of ruined it. Because
we gave them their power.
Because 1970, they were like open country. They weren't like super extremist Muslim. They were just like normal Muslim, just everyday Muslim,
doing their thing.
Yeah, they have really pretty women there too. Like it's crazy. But you wouldn't know now because they'll have to cover up,
Yeah. And I mean, don't quote me on this, but we created the militant faction in Iran to fight Russia, right? To fight communism, to fight.
Oh yeah. Russian I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. If I remember correctly, that's the win. That's the way they.
I think so, because it's kind of our pattern, right? We did it in Iran, we did it in Iraq, we did it in Afghanistan.
Yeah, we've done it on multiple occasions, but it's definitely Iran. I gotta look up when we intervened and changed their whole trajectory. Yeah, because 79 is when we did that. It became an Islamic Republic on April 1st, 1979.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, and Jimmy Carter.
Interesting. That might provide.
Then that precipitated the whole hostage situation, which went on for a while, and Carter couldn't get him out, and then Reagan had to do it.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about that part of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. That was the whole thing that happened. Yeah, but that's not related to the Jewish thing. But I'm just saying, like, Iran became kind of extremist at that point, and they've been like that ever since, and that's why we're in the situation we're in today.
And we're only fostering it, right? Like, I mean, we're not trying to we're not trying to de-escalate with Iran. Trump fucking droned that dude on his home airstrip, like in front of his generals or whatever. He was like the 5-star general, or I can't remember his title, but he was like getting off the plane, and then Trump was like, "Hey, bitch!" Boom, dropped him.
Yeah, that's crazy. We're not trying to de-escalate anything. We're just like, you know what? Come at us, bro.
Like, what if someone did that to America? Right?
Oh, like, dude, it'd be over for them. We fucking nuke their ass, or we would invade.
Hard.
Yeah, we would hit back with 10 times the force they hit us with. Oh, you want to blow up our building? All right, fine. Say goodbye to your whole fucking country, asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it would be. But that's the thing. We get the luxury of being like that, and they don't get that luxury because we're America.
Right. We obviously have superior firepower, and
we do. Yeah. I mean, that's unquestionable.
Yeah. which is dangerous because it inspires our enemies to find where we are weak. And if we're not totally always thinking about where we're weak, someone's going to get us, you know, like just because they're going to take advantage of the superior firepower way, you know. I don't know what that looks like. Well, I kind of do, but I don't want to.
Well, I mean, they want to. Well, it's like Vietnam, right? Like they want to draw us into the country so they can then, you know, have a dragged out war, and because superior firepower is good, obviously, but if you're going up against a guerrilla force, it's not that good.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, like if there's only 10 people in an entire city that are militant against you, you're not going to bomb the whole city. You know,
you
like you've got to go
one by one building by one building.
Yeah.
And we did it in Afghanistan too, in Iraq. That's the same kind of thing. Brute force wasn't really the thing. It was, there was like, it wasn't everybody that was against the U.S. It was just some of the people, some of the Taliban.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody there owns a rifle, so it's like every house you're going into, you're breaking into someone's house who might shoot you because you're breaking into their house. Like,
yeah, I mean, in America, if you did that, that would also happen in the same way.
I think that it would be really wise of Israel to eat a punch, you know, and I know that's saying, hey, you're gonna have some deaths.
But I don't think Netanyahu's gonna do that. I don't think he's gonna take a punch. I don't think he's gonna let it happen.
No,
he's such a war criminal. He just can't help it, dude. Bloodthirsty.
Yeah, he's on trial for war crimes with the International World Court or whatever right now, or they're pending a case against him. Does
that have any actual power though? Like, is he actually gonna get in trouble, or is this just like?
I mean, what happens? Do you send it like who? Like, we're the world police, so do they try to send us in to go arrest someone else's politician, or do we just slap them with fines, or we just label them?
No idea.
A war criminal? Like, what is the international?
ICJ. 15 judges, but the UN is it's UN based. Okay, it's a UN based thing, but I don't think they have any power though, really. Like they can't. We need like we need a tribunal. It's the war crime tribunal like we had after World War II.
Yeah. I mean, how can you have power over someone else's thing? That would be like Colorado saying, oh, the mayor of New York committed crimes. We're going to send in the National Guard to New York.
They wouldn't be able to do that. Colorado doesn't have more power than New York, and New York doesn't have more power than Colorado. We're equal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So, maybe, or fortunately. Depending on how you look at that, I mean.
Yeah, because, I mean, if, going in and arresting someone else's politician is a good way to start a war, right? That's a good way to cause some fucking problems. But then, claiming him as like a war criminal is great, but what does that even mean? What does that even do?
Yeah, what can they do though? What's the teeth of that? I don't know. I'm trying to look it up, but I don't see anything that's like convincing.
You just get labeled a war criminal, and
you that's pretty cool, actually. I mean, you could be like Nick Cage in Lord of War,
Dude, that movie was insane.
That's one of my favorite Nick Cage movies, by the way. Go watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, me too. Especially at the end where he's like, in 5 minutes, someone's going to walk in here and tell you to shut the fuck up and let me go. And the guy's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, and right.
You see like the general, and he's like, oh, you're free to go.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Also, it's very realistic in that, weapons dealers are everywhere. And very powerful.
And we are a prolific weapons dealer. And
the U.S. is the most prolific, I think.
Yeah, both legally and illegally, Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of gun runners for the U.S. military that just sell to the streets. They're not even part of the international war. They just have access to the armory and sell their AKs to buddies on the streets. It's not like we're blameless in all this.
Oh yeah, we've been selling weapons to Afghanistan and Iran, Iraq for years. So.
And this latest to Iraq, we didn't even sell it to them. We just left them $89 billion worth of weaponry for free. Sorry,
well, that was Biden. He must have forgotten about it. Oh, I forgot about the weapons. Shit. Oh well, just leave them.
Ice cream, cookie dough ice cream.
Yeah, he had some ice cream.
Cool. Well, it's run about an hour. I'm kind of out of stuff. Do you want to go ahead and call it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, an hour's good. This is perfect.
Dope. So, do you have anyone that you would like to plug? Yourself, obviously, but
yeah,
anyone
I have
else
a video out today. Well, on the day of recording, at least. It'll be, yeah, I guess yesterday, because I'll put this out tomorrow. So I have a video out on Jaron Duran. It's a player for the Red Sox.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm going to promote at Spiteful Design on Twitter. I'm not wearing his hoodie today because it was dirty. I didn't have time to wash it. But that's who I'd like to promote. Oh, and BX_on_X. Perhaps we should do one on her next week. I don't think that she can come on for a little while. She's like overloaded. I've kind of talked to her about it a little. She's very busy, and but just recently she got attacked by that FBI agent. Did you see that? Where that ex-FBI agent basically said that everything...
he was smearing her and stuff. Had like a smear campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the FBI came along and said, "Hey, dude, she's right," which was like a
mic drop.
Yeah. So that's about all I got. I'm so happy to freaking be back here and doing this again. We'll figure out what next week, and yeah. So I guess I'll just go ahead and close with
catch y'all next time.
Yeah, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thanks for being here with me, Garrett.
Yep.
Appreciate it.